How to start an online business with a family. What's up, guys? I'm Mosley. I'm a parent of 5 boys, soon to be 6 in March. I've been working as a creative director for almost 15 years now, helping million-dollar businesses make more millions. Now I do things self-employed, run this agency at StartRight, and also, like, you guys out there, I know that if you're my type of people, you love self-development and improvement and all that stuff. And so with this channel, like with the stuff we're talking about, like, it's pretty much like how to be the best parent while running and operating your online business and also improving yourself along the way. But so let's go ahead and, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh, by the way, press the subscribe button if you have not already. It really helps the channel, really helps this get out to other parentpreneurs just like yourself. So how to start an online business with a family. Okay, the most valuable asset that you have is your time and your energy and your knowledge, okay? And assuming you're either in, there's 4 types of businesses that you can kind of do, right? Or not specifically that you can do, but you're within this 4 quadrant. You either are employed, self-employed, owner, or an investor, okay? And so typically most people start out employed. They're working for somebody, they're working for somebody else's boat, and helping them make money. You're trading your time for, you're trading the time that you have to them for money compensation from them. Self-employment's a little closer to the end. This could be you literally starting your own business. Self-employment is the same thing as, look, I'm going to start up Will Mosley LLC or StartRight LLC. I'm going to actually go with something real. And running, selling websites and operating the day-to-day and bringing in sales and bringing in all the stuff or whatever and fulfilling the orders. That would be self-employment. And the other side of that, right? So you have the E, which is employment, S, self-employed. O is owner. Most of us like to call ourselves owners of our business, but we're truly not the owners of our business in the traditional sense. We may own the company, but if we stop going to work, the business would fail, okay? If we stop doing any sort of work, it would just collapse. Ownership is typically when you are the owner and you've created a team underneath you or figured out a way for operations to continue without your day-to-day input. Typically, as an owner, you are working about 5 to 10 hours in your business a week. As a self-employed person, you're working about 30 to 60 hours in your business per week, sometimes more. And so if you are actively working, right, if you're trying to start a business, you're now technically starting in the self-employed, part. There's also investor, okay? So you have the investor part where you take your money, okay, and then you invest it in other people's businesses, and then they promise to pay you, not promise, but they typically, you're looking to get a return on that money, right? So a traditional way would be investing in the S&P 500, and your money then makes money roughly 7 to 10%, depending on, adjusted for inflation, stuff like that, per year. And that is the slow way to make money. It is a good way. There's nothing wrong with that. But typically the fast way of making money on the other side of that, and you can definitely do both of these at the same time, is, operating a business and looking to scale and working, using your time to then start to create, profits and stuff like that. The question is how to start an online business with a family. The truth of the matter is that each of us has a schedule that we're doing every day. And if you're trying to start a business, typically you're not unemployed and you don't have any money that you're not, typically you have some sort of income coming in. So you have income generation that you have to maintain, which is anywhere from 7 to 8, 9, 10 hours a day, whatever it is that you work. And then you're also a parent, maybe a husband, maybe a wife, whatever. So you have to maintain being a great parent and also being maybe possibly a partner if you're in a relationship or whatever. And then somehow you have to find the time to start this business, run this business, this online business. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up on, because their time is so limited. Your time is so limited. You're like kind of maybe burnt out at the end of the day, and you're like, I just don't have the time to do this. My recommendation, and this is not specifically my own advice, but it's been echoed throughout many, many books that I've read, podcasts, all that, is you have to have a block of time that is asset generation or deep work or whatever you want to call it, that is for you to build your business each day. Then you go and do your regular work, okay? So typically you do your asset generation first, which is building your business. Then you go do your regular income generation. Income generation is completely different than asset generation. Income generation is you are working to make money. You're trading time for money. Asset generation, ideally at the end of developing an asset, the asset generates profits. It generates, so the business that you're building, you may be working technically income generate. You're technically working in it, but eventually you may want to get to owner status so that you can free up your time to then build the next asset, etc., etc., etc. You have to figure out the time block in your day to be able to do this, because if you don't, you'll never build your business. You're not going to sacrifice your time with your family. You're not going to sacrifice, or you shouldn't sacrifice working, but you also have to figure out how to make that time. So what I personally do, and I like to think of the assets that I'm building in ownership terms. I like to think, how can I build this thing in 10 hours a week? Remember, ownership is about 5 to 10 hours. And typically if that was high level strategy, that would be high level strategy. They'd come in hour or two a day. You know this, like you've probably worked for these people. And you're like, why aren't they there? What's going on? They come in and they oversee some things and then they're out. And that's it. I like to run Start Right in this manner where I'm concentrating on building assets, which is micro assets, which are these videos that then I upload to YouTube and I chop up into shorts so that then TikTok, it pretty much works for me 24/7, 365. So I can make a video, in 10, 20 minutes, whatever. And if I'm making 2 or 3 videos a day, that content is then going to attract the audience, etc. And then I can start to build a service or a product behind that audience. So what I would recommend, if I had to give some practical steps, is 1, you need to carve out the time in your day, right? So whether that's 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, carve that out, and that is a non-negotiable, okay, for building this asset. Once you have that, then the question is, what do I do with that limited time? I would say, and I just listened to a video with Ali Abdal or whatever. He makes a point that there's 3 different types of businesses that you can make. One is an audience, a product, and a service, okay? Here at Start Right, this is a service-based product. This is a service-based business where you come to me and say, hey, Will, I really need you to help build my online business for me, like the actual website, stuff like that. And I'm like, cool, got you, what custom, blah, blah, blah. And then I go and do it and then bring that back to you and give that to you, right? That's a service. But what's kind of interesting about this is you may have a thing that you're trying to sell, which is a lot of times your brain, your knowledge, which is service. But the question is how do you attract people to that service or to that product? Let's say that you sell t-shirts, which would be product, or hoodie, sorry. The question is, how do I attract people? And you can go the traditional route of like PPC, like paid advertising, pay-per-click advertising with like Facebook and Google and stuff like that. But the problem that you're gonna have, and there's nothing wrong with this at all, is that you have 2 assets, right? Your time and your money. And most times when you're trying to start a business, most times you don't want to give up any of your money. You're like, I'm starting this business so I can make money. And a lot of times you actually have time, but most people don't want to give up their time. But you have to either give up one or two of these assets. You could, so let's, for instance, with building your online business, you've got your product. Let's say that you've been working in your field for 10, 15 years and you already know, whatever the service is that you're doing, sorry, not product, service. You know how to just do the thing like at the back of your hand, you're good. You already have half of the problem solved. Most likely you don't know how to attract people, get people to buy the thing that you can do. And so with that, with advertising, you can pay to have people come to your website, and through conversion of funnel, you pay, let's say, $25 a day, $30 a day, $100 a day, and then you start to get leads into that funnel, and then you can kind of close those people, and then you provide that service. And that's almost like a hands-off approach. Like if you have the capital to say, I'm going to spend $100 a day, I'm going to work, let's say that you make, I don't know, like $30 an hour. Let's just imagine. If you make $30 an hour, you have 3 extra hours that you can work per day. You're like, I'm just going to do Uber, I'm going to do whatever. You could theoretically do that to then get the people in that are interested, and then get them through the funnel, and then just provide the service, and then you're off to the races. And obviously they go to your website, your online business. If you don't have, say, that capital, or you're not confident about advertising, there's another way you can do this, which is content marketing, right? And I want to be very careful about the word like content marketing, because I think most times when this is approached, it's kind of like, how can I just get people to get to my service and buy it? Which obviously we want to make money, we want to do that. But the key thing is that you have to just give value. So these videos that I'm making right here, they're all intended to create as much value as I can for you, the parentpreneur. And if you want to take action, like, you know what, Will knows his shit, like, I'd love him to set up a website, that's great. But you got to earn the trust. So you can either do paid advertising, or you can do like YouTube, right? So it's interesting how you can build an audience, build a product, or build a service. But funny enough, you kind of always need an audience to start with. You need somebody to share that product or that service with. Now with the audience, you still can get paid off the audience with monetization. You just got to reach a critical mass, all that stuff. So coming back to this as how can I start a business while having a family, you don't neglect your other non-negotiable responsibilities. You keep working. Do not quit your job to go chase after a business. Trust me, don't do that. It is it's a high risk thing to do with the very chance that it may fail. And it's better to be able to provide income for your family so that they're not stressed and you're not stressed. And then you just say, okay, look, I'm going to get up 1 hour earlier, or I'm going to get up 2 hours earlier. Or let's say maybe if you have the freedom to do this, you work, an 8-hour day, but your boss is okay with you working 7 hours. And so you're like, I'm gonna literally spend the first hour of the day doing this business. I'm committing to this. This is worth me building. You also got to know the why. Why are you doing this? Why is this worth it to you? Is it because you're like, I'm not making enough money, and so I want to provide financial freedom, etc., for my family, me, blah, blah, blah? Cool, that's a motivator. Because this is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen. Me building you a website is not going to change the fact that you have to put in the energy and effort. It's just like a car, right? If you were doing deliveries for like a self-employment job, right? You have to have a car to be able to get around and go do the deliveries. But the car, just because you have a car doesn't mean that you can go make money. It means that you have to put in the energy to go do that. But the car is required. Just like an online website, majority of the time is required for you to get started. So just saying that, because I have a lot of people come to me and they think that like, once I have this website, everything's going to change. And that's not the truth. It creates the opportunities to start to come to you. Because if you don't have a website, you're like, hey, what's your website? And you're like, I don't have one. They're like, you're probably not professional. You're probably not a business, you know, like you kind of, it's definitely one of those things that's needed. Anyways, so if I can give the last couple little practical steps, and I'm going to be making so many more videos just all along these lines, specifically for you guys that care about improving yourself, that care about starting or operating your business, and care about like parenting. This is just for you guys. Make sure you carve out the time, okay? I'm an everyday type of person, so every single day, this is what I need to do, okay? Boom. We'll get into the minutia of the things that are required and all that stuff in other videos to come, but the first thing that you need to do is control your time, okay? The first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have control over your time. That is your biggest asset. Do that, then you got to choose what you want to do. Like, how do you want to run this? Are you providing a service, like I'm doing websites? Are you providing a product, which is pretty hard to do? And then, or are you building an audience? And I recommend take the product out and say, okay, I have an audience that I'm trying to build on YouTube and TikTok. Boom. Once that gets to a critical mass, once that gets to a certain point, let's say, have milestones, right? 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000, whatever. It's going to take time to do this. Then that will be enough generation for people to come to the website and then buy the service. It messes with your mind when you go the other way. You flip it around and you're just doing the service, okay? You may be so good at your service that you don't need inbound, you don't need the marketing, but most people do. And the only way you're going to get marketing without creating content is, not only way, but most people, is through paid advertising, which we could talk more about that too. I like the idea of content generation because it actually solves a couple of other issues that you're going to have. You need to provide proof and authority that people can trust the content, trust that you're going to be able to do what you need to do, like that you're going to provide the service you're going to provide. Paid advertising, you're not making videos, you're paying money. So you're using your time, you're trading your time for money, going to work the job, and then you're coming and bringing back that and putting it in the engine. But the crazy thing is that I can create a video right now, which is what I'm doing, which provides value to you and also gives you reason to buy my service. That stays up forever and ever and ever. So I don't have to make this video again. And then I create a catalog of videos for now my eventual current customers that have all these different problems. They're like, oh man, I got a newborn and I just don't know how to, I can't find the time. I don't know what to, and the whole backlog of catalog of videos that you've made, yes, it's growing your audience, but then it also acts as training videos for your clients and creates even more authority. So I kind of like that idea. I like the idea of starting a YouTube channel, starting your business, because you need to have a online website, like, so that people can go there to see your services. Because if you don't have a website, then they're gonna have to contact you 24/7. Like, we want people to contact us, of course, but like, we want a place where they can get all the information they need to, and then they can make the educated decision and then contact you. It just saves you a lot more time. Your time is so valuable as a parent. All right, I think that's all I got right now for today. Join us again for another episode where we're going to be diving into, I'll tell you actually what our next one is. Best online business models for parents. That's the next one. So don't miss that one. Come check back in. Again, if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you're a parent and you care about self-development, you care about growing your business, building a business, eventually getting to owner, like, let's go. Let's do this shit together. Let's make it happen. All right. See you next time. Take care. Peace.